You didn't send a final message, you didn't explain why. You simply vanished from the conversation, and the entire dynamic shifted in an instant. If you've ever withdrawn your attention after feeling drained, you know the peace it brings. But on the other side of the screen, something far different was brewing. You think your quiet exit is harmless, even passive? To someone who feeds on control, your silence is a declaration of independence, and they cannot stand it. The moment you stop responding, their internal compass breaks. Your reactions were their steering wheel, your words, their fuel. Now they're met with a void. Silence doesn't just block them out. It holds up a mirror they never wanted to look into. They're left alone with their own thoughts, replaying every past argument. Every moment they think they had the upper hand, they begin searching for the crack. Where did the leverage disappear? You didn't offer a defense. You didn't plead your case. That's what truly shakes them. They are accustomed to having a key to your emotional world. When you go quiet, that lock changes and they are left fumbling at the door. At first, they rationalize. They're swamped. They'll reply later. They wait. But as the hours or days stretch on, the quiet becomes deafening in their mind. They check their notifications, not for a heartfelt message, but for a hit of reassurance that their influence still works. Your absence becomes a loudspeaker, broadcasting everything they tried to suppress. They start to wonder, did someone finally show them the truth about me? Did you see through the act? That idea is paralyzing because being truly seen means their game is over. Control needs a fog of confusion. Silence clears the fog they need to operate. Your quiet forces them to face a gap in their knowledge. And that gap feels like a loss of control. So they start to move, but it's not a direct attack. The first move is almost always gentle, a soft poke disguised as kindness. Hey, just wanted to check in. Hope you're okay. This isn't concern. This is a probe reaching out to see if the wall is solid or just a door left ajar. If you reply, even with a simple fine, they have their answer. The connection is still live. If you stay dark, the strategy shifts. The kindness turns into confusion wrapped in nostalgia. They might send a memory, a photo, a mention of the good old days. This isn't warmth, it's a hook. They are trying to drag you back to a time when you were more willing to play the game. Your continued silence denies them that anchor. And now, the frustration starts to curdle. Their perception of you changes. You are no longer the person they could predict. You are now a problem. Not because you fought back, but because you opted out. And opting out makes their entire playbook useless. Manipulators have two core terrors, being exposed as a fraud and becoming irrelevant. Your silence threatens both at once. It's a pressure they cannot handle. So they turn the dial from soft to sharp. The texts get pointed. Why are you doing this? What's your problem? Guess I was wrong about you. This is not a request for answers. This is a shove, an attempt to provoke a reaction. Anger, sadness, even a defensive ranty emotion is an invitation back in. You're giving them nothing, and to them, nothing feels like a complete shutdown. When you still won't respond, they take it elsewhere. They start talking to mutual friends, painting a picture of confusion and hurt. I just don't know what happened. They just cut me off. This is not venting. It's reputation control. If you ever speak up, they want the audience to already doubt you. If you stay silent, they lose the power to frame the story. Losing the narrative is a wound they can't ignore. So they push harder. You might suddenly receive a dramatic apology. I never meant to hurt you. I've done a lot of thinking. This apology is a tool, not a sentiment. It's designed to extract a response. Real regret doesn't demand immediate acceptance. Manipulative regret does. It wants to rush the door open. If you remain quiet, the mask finally cracks. Their patience burns out, the messages turn cold, accusations fly. You're being childish. This is so immature. This is the classic reversal. They are now the victim. Your boundary is reframed as cruelty. Their past actions are erased. This isn't confusion. It's a mugging for your attention. They want guilt. Guilt has always worked before. Guilt will break the silence. If guilt doesn't work, they go for the gut. They hint at consequences, vague threats. You'll regret this. Don't come crawling back. This is where many people fold because fear feels immediate. But look at what's actually happening. They are desperate. The silence has stripped them of control. When manipulation fails, panic takes over, and panic makes them clumsy. Then comes the most deceptive phase, the reset trap. They act like nothing ever happened. Hey, random question. Did you see that thing? This is an attempt to hit a hard reset, to pretend the boundary doesn't exist. If you answer, they win. The silence is over. If you don't, their ego takes a direct hit. They feel genuinely powerless. And a manipulator in a state of powerlessness is a dangerous thing. Some lash out with pure rage. Others switch to excessive charm, love-bombing you from a distance. Two styles, one goal, to reestablish dominance by any means necessary. Here is the core truth you must hold on to. Your silence is not a void, it is a message, and it tells them everything. It tells them you are no longer a reliable source of energy. It tells them you may have evolved beyond their reach. Your evolution is their elimination. That is their ultimate fear. Because people like this don't change. They find new people. If they cannot pull you back in, they will abruptly vanish. Sometimes with a nasty final word, sometimes with cold indifference. This is not closure. It's a retreat. They are saving face and looking for easier prey. But before they fully ghost you, they almost always test the line one final time. A last message. Something ambiguous, loaded with meaning. This is your moment. Staying silent here locks in the power shift. At this precise moment, something permanent happens in their mind. You are reclassified. You are no longer a source. You are no longer useful. This is why silence works. Not because it hurts them, but because it rewrites the hierarchy. It takes you off the board. These personalities need interaction to exist. By refusing to interact, you are refusing them existence. That's why their reactions are so extreme. You didn't fight, you just disappeared from their radar. And they have no way to track you. Silence isn't hiding, it's a boundary. It stops the cycle without debate, without justification. And that's what makes it bulletproof. There's nothing to argue with. No opening, no leverage. Just a calm, steady absence. And absence is their kryptonite. Most people get this wrong. They think staying quiet is the weak move. Weakness is begging for someone to understand you. Silence simply withdraws that opportunity. When you stay silent, you force them into the spotlight. Every escalation, every text, every trick is them showing you exactly who they are. Your stillness becomes a mirror, and they despise their own reflection. Eventually, they stop. Not because they've had an epiphany, but because they can't win. And they avoid losing at any cost. They walk away. They pretend you meant nothing. That dismissal is just armor for their own ego, not the truth. The truth is, your silence broke the spell. You didn't explain yourself. You didn't fight to be heard. You didn't beg for decency. And that one choice changed the entire equation. Silence isn't the final word, it's the reset button. If you've ever wondered why stepping back feels so powerful, now you understand. It's not about controlling them. It's about freeing yourself. And once you felt that shift, you'll never go back to the old ways, because silence isn't empty. It's the most complete sentence you'll ever speak. If this perspective resonated with you, hit that like button to help others on the inner blade find this clarity. And remember, your peace is non-negotiable.